Guys, so today we're going to be looking at some review examples for quiz 1-2, the quiz that you're going to have tomorrow. And so let's just go over some of these. These are going to be almost exactly like the quiz that you get, just with some numbers changed just like before, different problems but the same types of problems. So start out reading the information it gives you at the beginning so you can mark your diagram, always. So it says in the diagram below, so this one right here, DG, so ray DG here, okay, so this one right here is perpendicular, that's what this means, perpendicular, so 90 degrees to ray DF, so this right here. So DF and DG here makes a 90-degree angle, okay? And then it says just to use this diagram for questions 1 through 7. So 1 says to name the sides of angle 4. So if we look at angle 4 here, we can see that we have ray DC, so this side, ray DC. Make sure C is the end of the ray, so you have the arrow pointing outward at C. And we have the other side is DG, so it goes outward this way, so DG. So number 2 says to name the vertex of angle 2. Angle 2 here, the vertex would be the place or the point at which the two rays meet, so it would be point D. Okay. 3 says to give another name for angle 3. So we can give another name for this angle. It's angle 3, but we can also name it using the points on it. So EDG, so it's going to be angle EDG. Or we could also name it angle GDE, as long as D, the vertex, is in the middle. So we could also do GDE. The main thing to know when you're naming an angle is to use 3 of the points on it, and the vertex has to be in the center. Number 4 just says to classify angle 5. That means, like, is it acute, obtuse, a right angle, or a straight angle? So it's going to be one of those 4. So classify angle 5. You can see angle 5 here is smaller than 90 degrees, so it is acute. Now, if we look to the next one, it says to classify angle CDE. CDE is this angle right here. You can see that it makes a straight line or a 180-degree line, so it is a straight angle. Okay. So now, if we look at number 6, it says if measure of angle 5, so we'll go ahead and mark our diagram, is 42 degrees, okay, and the measure of angle 1 is 117 degrees, so angle 1 here, I'm going to go ahead and use 2 angle marks to show that it's different from angle 5. Then it says to find angle CDF, so CDF is going to be this entire one. So angle CDF is going to be these two angles added together because they make up that angle. So it's going to be 42 degrees plus 117 degrees. See if I can write first. Plus that 117 degrees is going to give us 159 degrees. So because these two angles make up the larger angle, you can add them together to get the larger angles measured. Okay, so I'll erase that. And then if we look at number 7, if the measure of angle 3, so this one right here, is 73 degrees, what is the angle of FDE? So we're looking for this angle right here. So that's the one we're looking for. So we know that FDG is this 90 degrees, and it's going to be equal to these two added together because this angle is made up of the angle that we're looking for. Let's call it angle 2 since it's measured, or since it's labeled angle 2, plus this 73-degree angle. So in order to solve for angle 2, which is the one we're looking for, we would have to subtract this 73 degrees, giving us that this angle is going to be 17 degrees. And so our answer is going to be 17 degrees. So again, for each problem, just make sure you label the diagram with the information you're given, and then go from there to try and solve. So if we look at number 8, again, look at what it tells you in the beginning first. So in the diagram below, BC, so this part right here, this ray, bisects the angle it goes through. So these two angles are the same. Okay? And then it just tells us to use the diagram for angles, or for questions 8 through 10. So, number 8. If measure of angle ABF, so that would be this angle, is 7x plus 20. Angle FBC, so this one is 2x minus 5, which means that this one is also 2x minus 5 since they are the same. And ABC, so this whole angle here is 159 degrees. Find the value of x. So it looks like we didn't need this one. But we know that since these two angles make up this angle, that large angle is going to be equal to these two added together. So we can take this 7x plus 20 and add the 2x minus 5. And that's going to give us this 159 degrees. So we have to solve for x. So if we take these x's together, we get 9x on the side. Sorry, we keep this 159. And then we have this 20 minus 5 gives us plus 15. If we subtract 15 to the other side, we get that 9x is equal to 144. Okay? So we subtract this 15 to the other side, and I just went ahead and switched them around so we have x on this side. And if we divide by 9, that's going to give us that x is equal to 16. And that's all it's asking us to solve for, is for x. And since we actually have a little more room down here, I'm actually just going to go ahead and draw another of the diagram so that I don't have to erase it every time, because I know you're not going to be able to do that with the pencil. We know that these two are the same. And then I'm going to go ahead and label all of the points on here. Okay, and so now we can look at number 9. And we'll use this diagram I've drawn over here. So angle DBC, so DBC is this entire angle over here, is this 12x minus 3. Okay, DBE, so this part right here is going to be 5x plus 12. Okay, so I'll use two little angle marks to show that. And then EBC, so this part is 3x plus 13. Okay, so again, the entire angle, this part, is going to be equal to the other two added together. So we have this 12x minus 3 is going to be equal to this 5x plus 12 plus 3x plus 13. So these ones added together make up this angle. So we'll do the ones with x on the right side together and the ones without x together. So we still have this 12x minus 3. 5 plus 3 gives us 8x. 12 plus 13 gives us 25. Okay, so then we can add 3 to the other side. Gives us 12x equals 8x plus 28. And then we'll subtract the 8x. And then I'll go ahead and do it up here. So 12 minus 8 is going to give us this 4x equals 28. Does that cancel it out? Then if we divide by 4, that's going to give us the x is equal to 7. Okay? But it's not asking us what x is equal to. It's asking us for the angle EBC. Okay? Angle EBC, we've got written here, is this 3x plus 13. And we know that x is 7. So instead of writing x, it's 3 times 7 plus 13. We're just substituting the 7 in for x. And then if we type that out on a calculator, we're going to get 34 degrees. So angle EBC, so what we're looking for, is equal to 34 degrees. And then lastly, I'll go ahead and draw another diagram so you can kind of see it a little better, so it's not all mixed up. So let's start over there because that's pretty bad. So make sure you label everything if you're doing it this way. If you're just erasing on the other diagram every time, that's fine too. But I don't feel like erasing because I want to be able to see it still. And again, we know that since it bisects that angle, these two are the same. Okay, so this says if angle FBC, so angle FBC is 10x minus 9. Let's see if you can write it. And CBE, okay, so this one right here is 4x plus 15, okay? These two are the same. They're equal to each other. So we can take this 10x plus 9 equals 4x plus 15 because they're the same measure, okay? We can solve for x with that. So we'll subtract the 4x to the other side to get the x's on one side, giving us 6x plus 9 equals 15. Then we'll subtract the 9 from both sides, giving us that 6x is equal to 24. Okay, and then we can divide by 6 to give us that x is equal to 4. But it's not asking for x, it's asking for angle FBE, okay? FBE is going to be the entire thing together. So it's going to be 2 of either one of these since they're the same. So we'll just double one of these, and let's just do the 10x minus 9, okay? So because both of these are the same, we have 2 of it to make up the entire angle. And you could choose either one, or you could just plug in x onto both of these and add them together. So we'll plug in x for that. And that will give us, if you type it into a calculator, 62 degrees. Okay, so angle FBE is equal to 62 degrees. Looking at the next page, again, start with the stuff that it gives you in the beginning. In the diagram to the right, line JL, so this one right here, is perpendicular, so it makes a right angle with line MN. So all of these are going to be 90-degree angles, okay? And then you use the diagram for questions 11 through 14. So 11 is telling us to classify, and I'm going to go ahead and change my color so that I can do this color-coded because it makes it easier for you to see. Angle PKM. So PKM is this one, okay? And NKO, okay? We'll just see what of these actually go together, or go with these two angles, and you got to check all names that apply. So adjacent means that they share a ray, and so one of their sides is the same. They don't share any of their sides, and they're not right next to each other, so it's not adjacent. Vertical means they're directly across each other at the vertex. They are directly across each other at the vertex, so they are vertical. This is what vertical angles look like. So anytime you have something like this, and you're looking at angles across from each other, they're vertical angles. Complementary means that they add to 90 degrees. We don't know anything about the measure of these angles, so we can't say that. Supplementary means they add to 180 degrees. Again, we don't know anything about these measures, so we can't say that. And linear pair means they add to 180 and they're adjacent. Okay? They don't add to 180, they're not supplementary, and they're not adjacent, so we can't mark that one. So PKM and NKO are only vertical angles. Can't say anything else about them, okay? So we'll go ahead and redraw those 90-degree angle marks because these are still 90-degree angles. And then we can look at the next one, and I'll use blue for it. So we're looking at NKO again, so this one, okay? And OKL, OKL. So we're looking at this angle next, right next to it. Okay, so adjacent means they share a side and they're right next to each other. They are right next to each other and they share ray KO, so they are adjacent. Vertical means that they're directly across from each other. They are not directly across from each other since they are adjacent and touch each other, so they can't be vertical. Complementary, again, means they add to 90 degrees. You can see here that they make up this 90-degree angle that we already said was 90 degrees. It's a right angle. So they do add together to give you 90 degrees. So they're complementary angles. Supplementary means they add to give you 180 degrees. Since they add to give you a 90-degree angle, they do not add to give you 180. And in order to be a linear pair, they need to add to 180 and be adjacent. They are adjacent, but they do not add to 180, so they are not a linear pair. Next, it says, next we're still using the same diagram. I'll go ahead and go back to the black color. It says if JKP is this angle right here, okay, is 67 degrees, then find each measure. We're looking for PKL. Okay, so we're looking at this one right here. Well, if we know that, or since we can see that they make up a straight line together, this straight angle here, they're going to add to 180. So this 67 degrees plus this angle PKL are going to give us 180 degrees. So in order to solve for that PKL, we just need to subtract 67. So that's going to give us that the measure of angle PKL is equal to 113 degrees. So if you take 180 minus 67, that's going to give you 113 degrees. So now, if we're looking for angle NKO, so that's looking at this one. Well, if we look at the fact that these two are vertical, so 67 and this angle right here, you can see that this angle is directly across the vertex, from this angle. And vertical angles are congruent. So if this one is 67, this one's 67 degrees. So for instance, if this one over here was 30 degrees, the one directly across the vertex like that is also 30 degrees. So again, vertical angles are congruent. Okay, so if we have that this one's 67, and this whole thing is a 90-degree angle, so we have the 67 degrees plus this angle NKO that we're looking for is going to give us this 90-degree angle. In order to solve for NKO, we just have to subtract 67. And so 90 minus 67 is going to give us this angle 23 degrees. Okay, so now we can go down to number 15. So we're going to use this diagram. I'm going to, again, copy it over and over so that we can actually look at it a little easier. So angle 1, okay, gives us is 7x minus 19, okay? Angle 2 here is x plus 5, okay? And it tells us to find the measure of angle 2. So in order to do that, we have to solve for x. Well, if we look, we see that this is already marked as a right angle. We can go ahead and say, since this line makes up a straight angle with that, so together, this angle is also going to be a 90-degree angle. Okay, so this 7x minus 19 plus this x plus 5 is going to make up that 90-degree angle. So we have 7x minus 19 plus x plus 5 is going to make up this 90-degree angle, because two 90-degree angles make a straight angle, or this straight line. So it gives us 8x if you add those, and then minus 19 plus 5 is going to give us minus 14. Sorry, I forgot the x, equals 90 degrees. Then if we add the 14 to the other side, it gives us 8x equals 104. And if we divide by 8, x is going to be equal to 13. But it's not asking us what x is, it's asking us measure of angle 2, which is x plus 5. So we just take this 13, and we add 5 to it, which is going to give us 18 degrees. So for number 15, the measure of angle 2 is 18 degrees. And actually, I'm just going to go ahead and erase what I've got here. So again, we know that this is going to be a right angle because it makes a straight line with that other right angle. So number 16 now. Angle 1 is now 6x plus 25. Angle 4 is 10x minus 11. Okay, so we're looking at this and this one. These two angles are vertical angles. You can see they're directly across each other. You can draw a straight line through them. They meet at the vertex. They are vertical angles. vertical angles are equal to each other. Again, for all of these, almost all of these, you're either going to do blank plus blank equals 90, blank plus blank equals 180, or blank is equal to blank. Okay, all of them are going to be like that. One of those three. These two are congruent angles, so they're equal to each other. So we have 6x plus 25 is equal to 10x minus 11. Now we can just solve for x. I'll subtract 6x onto the other side. Giving us 25 equals 4x minus 11. And then we'll add the 11, giving us 36 is equal to 4x. And we'll divide by 4, giving us x is equal to 9. Now with that, it's telling us to find measure of angle 1, which it gives us is 6x plus 25. We will plug in 9 for x, so instead of 6 times x plus 25, it's going to be 6 times 9 plus 25. And then if you type that into a calculator, you're going to get 79 degrees is going to be your answer. And so over here you can write measure of angle 1 is 79 degrees. So again, just go through, mark what you've got, and again, you know it's going to be one of these three things. Either they add to give you 90, add to give you 180, or they're equal to each other. All right. This one says that angle 4 is this 3x plus 7 degrees. And then angle 5 here is going to be this 9x minus 43. Okay, you can say they're not equal to each other. You can tell by looking even. So they're not vertical angles, so they're not equal to each other. They don't add to give you a 90-degree angle. You can see that they're clearly bigger than a right angle or a corner. But you can see that they do make up a straight line. So you're going to do the blank plus blank equals 180 because it makes you a straight line. So we have this 3x plus 7 plus the other one is 9x minus 43 equals 180. Okay, so we can take the ones with x together first, then the ones without x together after that one. And that is going to give us 12x minus 36 equals 180. Okay, then we'll add 36 to the other side to give us 12x is equal to 216. And then if we divide by 12, x is equal to 18. But it's asking for angle UPS, which is going to be UPS is this whole angle. So it's going to be this angle 4 plus angle 3. Okay, so angle 4 we have is this 3 times x plus 7. And angle 3 we have here is a right angle, so it's going to be 90 degrees. We know that x is 18. 3 times 18 plus 7 plus 90. So we just plugged in 18 for x, or substituted 18 in for x. Okay, so that's going to give us, if we type that in a calculator, 151 degrees. So for number 17, you can go ahead and write angle UPS is 151 degrees. Okay, I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we can see this a little better. So now if we look at number 18, we can go and erase what we've got on here so far other than our right angles, because those are still true. 18 says if V, oh, that's not even looking at this one, even better. So 18 says if V and W are supplementary angles. Supplementary means blank plus blank. These two angles are going to add to give you 180 degrees. Okay? And angle V, so angle W and angle V are going to equal 180. Okay? Because blank plus blank equals 180, so they're supplementary, they add to 180. Angle V is 49 degrees. Okay, so we can, instead of writing angle V, we can write 49. In order to solve for angle W, we're just going to subtract 49, giving us the angle W is equal to 131 degrees. So we can go and write up here on number 18, angle W equals 131 degrees. Okay. Angle 1 and angle 2 are vertical angles. If they're vertical angles, they're equal to each other. So angle 1 is equal to angle 2. Angle 2 and 3 are complementary, so that's the 90-degree one. Supplementary is 180 degrees, complementary is 90. So angle 2 plus angle 3 equals 90. And then it tells us that angle 3 is 56 degrees. So this is the only one we have with angle 3, so we'll go ahead and copy it, except instead of writing angle 3, we're going to write 56 degrees. Okay, and then with that, if we subtract 56 degrees, we can go ahead and get the angle 2 is going to be equal to this 34 degrees. And then we know that angle 1 is equal to angle 2, and so angle 1 is also going to be equal to 34 degrees. So just go through. If they're vertical, they're equal. If they're complementary, they add to 90. If they're supplementary, they add to 180. The word linear pair implies that they're supplementary. By definition, a linear pair is supplementary angles that are also adjacent. So they make a straight line with each other, right next to each other, and they add to 180. So I'm going to go ahead and go up here and write that on number 19, that angle 1 is equal to 34 degrees. And then we'll look at number 20. So again, linear pair means they add to 180. So angle 1 plus angle 2 are equal to 180. And then angle 1 is 18 degrees less than 5 times angle 2. So we're learning about angle 1. So it's 18 degrees less. We'll circle that because we're going to need that. But we're looking at 5 times angle 2. So we're going to do 5 times angle 2, and it's 18 degrees less. So we'll have to subtract 18 degrees from whatever 5 times angle 2 is. Okay? Now we need to find angle 1. So we know that angle 1 is equal to this. And we know that this has angle 1 in it. So if we take this, and instead of writing angle 1, we write this that we know it's equal to. So we take this 5 times angle 2 minus 18. And then we go ahead and copy the rest of this. So plus angle 2 is equal to 180. We can solve for angle 2 using this. So we have 5 angle 2's plus 1 more. Angle 2 is going to give you 6 angle 2. We still have this minus 18 equals 180. And now we just need to solve for angle 2 like we would any other variable. So we are going to add 18 to give us that 6 angle 2 is going to give us 198 degrees. And then if we divide by 6, that's going to give us that angle 2 is 33 degrees. Okay? If we know that angle 2 is 33 degrees, we know that we can use either one of these. So if we use the first one, we have angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to 180. Okay, 180. We can plug in this 33 degrees here to solve. And that's going to give us the angle 1, if we subtract this 33, is going to give us 147. Or we can say we know that angle 1 is equal to 5 times angle 2 minus 18. And we can just go ahead and plug in angle 2 again. You're going to get 147 degrees either way. So angle 1 is 147 degrees. You're not going to have one where you have to do the less than 5 times whatever thing on the quiz, but you're going to have to be able to understand that a linear pair means they add to 180. Vertical angles are equal to each other. Complementary angles are add to 90 degrees, and supplementary angles add to 180 degrees. Let me know if you have